Hello my dear friends, welcome back to the channel. In this video we will talk about how to create your own magical servitor. Alright, so let's get real for a second. Here in the modern world, in this material world, we are super good at bending the outside world to our will. I mean, we've got science, we've got technology which is working overtime to make life more easier, more comfortable, maybe more efficient, but we have to admit that all this technology is super distracting. And while we are busy conquering the outside world, this material world, we've kind of let the inner world, the realm of imagination, creativity, and all that weird stuff take basically the backseat. So this brings us to why we are here, and the answer is servitors. If you've never heard the term before, think of a servitor as a helper you create with your imagination to lend you a hand, okay? Maybe you need motivation. Well, that can be done with the help of a servitor. Maybe you need a boost in creativity. Maybe you need someone to remind you where you left your keys, for example. But you get the idea. Here's the fun part. Creating a servitor isn't just practical. It's also a little bit weird. It's a weird subject, but I think it's interesting at the same time because you are diving into the depths of your own psychic. And you are playing basically with the building blocks of your reality and turning your imagination into something that can actually help you in the real world. So it's not about escaping reality, it's about making this material plane, this reality, work for you, but on your own terms. So let's actually dive deeper into what is actually a servitor. Let's understand what is a servitor. A servitor is more than just a figment of your imagination. It's actually a thought form which is powered by your focus and intent. Think of it as a personalized energy being designed to serve a specific purpose, whether that's helping with tasks, offering guidance, or simply being a comforting presence in your life. But if a servitor is a thought form, then what is a thought form? Well, to better understand what is an actual thought form, I think this example will illustrate that a little bit better. And I spoke about this situation in an older video. So a thought form is quite simply a thought or idea that gains energy and persistence through repeated focus or emotional intensity. It starts as something temporary, a passing emotion, but as it's given more attention, it can take on a life of its own. You see, thought forms are like echoes of the mind that can linger, can grow, and even influence others if they are strong enough. Think of these thought forms as invisible footprints left in the energetic or psychological space we actually inhabit. So let me share with you a personal experience to illustrate this. At the company I worked for, there was a team member who was going through a rough time. Each day he would sit on a specific spot on the balcony of the building, contemplating some dark thoughts, specifically whether or not to end it all. He didn't talk about it, he just sat there when he had breaks, silently fueling these thoughts. So one day, as I was passing by, the same balcony. When I passed through that specific spot where this man sat every day on his breaks, a thought suddenly hit me. What if I jump? Now let me be clear, it wasn't something that I would consider because I have really deep opinions about this sort of action anyway. And I had, to my advantage, the experience of the fact that I practiced thought control. And I immediately recognized that this thought didn't come from me. It felt strange. It felt foreign. It felt like an unwelcomed visitor in my mind, so to speak. So I brushed it off and kept going. The strange thing was that a few days later, I overheard two colleagues of mine in the office talking about the exact same thing. They mentioned feeling an urge to jump when they passed by that balcony. And that was the moment it clicked for me. A thought form had been created there and it was sitting in our balcony. And this wasn't just a coincidence. The energy from the team members' repeated focus on those thoughts had imprinted itself on that space, creating a kind of psychic influence in that area. So, realizing this, I decided to act. I had a private one-to-one conversation with the team member without mentioning anything about thought forms because I didn't want him to think that his team lead has lost her mind. I gently asked how he was doing, and he opened up, admitting that he was struggling, he was feeling isolated and unneeded. So I gave him a sense of purpose and I assigned him the responsibility of mentoring new hires, helping them basically to get up to speed. That sense of being needed, I think that it gave him a boost that he needed, and he started to become more engaged with the team. But you see, the thought form on the balcony wasn't going to vanish on its own, so I made it my mission to clear it. So during breaks, I took my coffee to the exact same spot, and while I sat there, I focused on mentally dismantling this thought form, and instead of letting it linger, I visualized it breaking apart, dissipating. Also, I called in my guides to help me with the situation, and I replaced that particular thought form with something better, planting a new thought form of hopefulness. I imagine that anyone standing there will feel uplifted, basically optimistic and energized. After a few days, I started to notice basically the shift. The heaviness around that spot was gone, and it was replaced by a sense of lightness. The thought form I'd worked to destroy had dissipated, and in its place a more positive energy had taken root. So this wasn't just my win, it was a victory, I think, for everyone who would pass through that particular space now. So with this example, we understand that thought forms, whether created consciously or unconsciously, can have a profound effect on the spaces we inhabit and the people around us. They are a testament to the power of the human mind and the energy we carry with us. But here's the key: with awareness and intention, we can shape those energies. Whether you are creating a servitor, clearing a space, or just managing your own mental state, thought forms remind us of one simple truth. Our thoughts are far more powerful than we often realize. Why create a servitor? So let's face it, life throws a lot at us, and sometimes we could all use a little extra help. That's where servitors come in. Whether it's for personal growth, improving your skills, or helping, for example, your community. Maybe you don't want something for yourself, but maybe you want something to happen positively in your community. Servitors can help because they are custom built. They are energetic allies that you create for a specific purpose, which can be tailored to fit your needs. Let me give you some real-world examples. So let me tell you about another time where I worked as a team lead a while back at a company, and I just taken over a team that wasn't performing great at all. I mean, deadlines were slipping, morale was pretty low, and everyone was basically stuck. So during that period, I learned about servitors, and I decided to create a servitor to help improve the team's performance. Its task was simple. I wanted the team to focus, I wanted them to improve their cooperation and efficiency as a group. And basically I imagined this servitor hovering in our workspace, nudging everyone's energy towards productivity. And guess what? Things started to shift. People became more engaged. Teamwork improved, and the quality of our work started to become better and better day by day. And it wasn't like the servitor was doing the work for us, but it created that little boost in the environment where we could perform at our best. So the energy of that space changed, and so did the results of this team. So that was a big win for us as a team. You see, servitors can be programmed, so to speak, to do several things. For example, I read in a book somewhere that an old lady created one to remind her to take her meds and supplements because she always forgot. And this led to better health for her. You see, the beauty of servitors is that they are incredibly flexible. They are not bound by limitations of the physical world. They are powered by your intent, and they are fueled by your energy, which means they can be as simple or as complex as you want. Whether it's enhancing your focus, building your confidence, or creating a sense of community in your area, servitors can be tools you can customize to meet your exact needs. And here's the thing, servitors remind you of your own power. They show you what's possible when you combine focused thought with intention. They are not about escaping reality, they are about reshaping it. Crafting your servitor. Now we are getting to the exciting part, creating your servitor. This process is where your imagination, intention, energy come together to craft a thought form that can impact your life in real, tangible ways. Defining your servitor's purpose. Before you begin, decide what you want your servitor to do. Is it a companion to provide motivation in some area of your life? A helper to boost productivity? A guardian for protection? Or maybe you want to help your specific area or your neighborhood or maybe someone in your family? Be specific about its purpose. Designing the servitor. Your servitor appearance is crucial, especially for a companion. This is where you create its, so to speak, avatar, which is a visual or physical representation that will act as the foundation for its form and personality. The avatar can be a digital image that you can create with AI, for example. It can be a drawing of yours or even a physical object like a small figurine or even a doll. Choose something that brings you joy and resonates with your servitor's purpose. Choose something that you find pleasing and inspiring. This could be a manga character, a mythological figure, or an original design. Give a name to your servitor. Give it an identity. A name gives your servitor individuality and helps you form a deeper bond with it. So choose a name for your servitor that feels right and that resonates with its purpose. Let's say that you chose this servitor to help you with productivity, to have better productivity in your job, let's say. Or maybe, I don't know, in your duties, okay? You might choose a name like Productis or any other name of your choice. Create a sigil for your servitor. To create that sigil, you have to write the servitor's name and purpose. Combine the servitor's name and its purpose into a single statement. Keep it concise but clear. As an example, Productis, to increase focus and productivity in all tasks. Remove repeated letters and vowels. Eliminate any duplicate letters in the combined name and purpose, leaving only one instance of each letter. Example. So we write here our statement, which is Productis, to increase focus and productivity in all tasks. Then we eliminate all the vowels and the repeated letters and we end up with this. So after you ended up with these letters, use these remaining letters as the foundation of your sigil. Combine them into a unique abstract symbol that doesn't resemble words. And for this purpose, let your creativity flow. Rotate the letters, overlap them, or stylize them into shapes. So keep refining your design until it feels complete and powerful to you. The goal is to create a symbol that resonates emotionally and mentally, even if you no longer recognize the original letters. Charging your servitor. This is where the real magic happens. You breathe life into your servitor by channeling focused attention, visualization, and emotion. Here's how to energize it. Step 1. Memorize the appearance of your servitor. Spend time studying your servitor, the picture that you created to represent it. Memorizing every detail and how it looks. Like we said earlier, it can be a doll, it can be a sigil, it can be a drawing that you did to represent that servitor. We have to have some sort of representation of this entity that we are about to bring to life. And then the goal, after you memorized how this servitor of yours is looking like, is to recreate this image perfectly in your mind's eye or in your imagination. Visualize in your mind the servitor. In a quiet, distraction-free space, close your eyes and vividly imagine your servitor in as much detail as possible. Picture it moving, turning, and even interacting with you. Then, after you succeeded to visualize your servitor in perfect detail in your mind's eye or in your imagination, tell yourself, I am creating this servitor to fulfill this purpose. Try it now with your eyes open. Visualize the servitor in your room as if it's physically present. Imagine it floating or standing, fully formed and alive. Charge the sigil of your servitor. Now grab the sigil that you made that represents this servitor and look at the sigil with intensity. Then at some point, you will see a glow around the sigil. If you close your eyes at this point, you will be able to see this image floating in reverse colors behind your eyelids. After you looked at the sigil in this manner, just speak out loud or in your mind the following. Name of your servitor: I create you for this purpose. And then declare the servitor alive by saying something along the lines, I now awaken you, and state the servitor's name. Building a connection with your servitor. Once your servitor is charged and activated, you've brought an incredible creation to life, a thought form that feels alive and is ready to fulfill its purpose and engage with you. The first step in interacting with your servitor is summoning it. You can do this by calling its name or mentally focus on its image and then looking at the sigil that you created for it. Imagine it materializing in the space around you and let yourself feel its presence. Don't worry if it's not crystal clear at first, but visualizing your servitor will become easier and more natural over time with consistent practice. Now comes the fun part, building a relationship with your servitor. Talk to your servitor as you would to a friend. Call it by name and explain what you'd like it to do for that particular purpose. Over time, you will see that you will develop a sense of its voice, an inner intuition or mental response that feels like your servitor is communicating with you. The more you interact with your servitor, the more vivid and responsive it will become. Over time, you may find it easier to perceive it clearly without intense concentration. Your servitor will develop traits that make it feel uniquely alive. Tips for building connection. Spend dedicated time each day interacting with your servitor. Include your servitor in your routine, such as asking it to join you during that specific purpose that you created for. Let's say that you created a servitor that can act as a motivator to do your fitness practices. Whenever you do that fitness activity, you can call upon your servitor to keep you motivated and to keep doing those fitness exercises. Ethical consideration. Remember that with great power comes great responsibility. So treat your servitor with respect and always be clear about its purpose, okay? I've saw in many books that people say that you have to have boundaries and things like that, but from my own experience, I will say to you that you created this thought form, okay? And you created it for a specific purpose. So this thought form cannot have a mind of its own if you respect these principles of building it for a specific purpose. Now, to dissolve this thought form, in my case, I do it simply by burning the sigil that I created for it. Conclusion. A servitor can act as a bridge to your inner world. It offers you a chance to rediscover playfulness, creativity, and the magic of imagination that many of us leave behind in childhood. Through your servitor, you can explore aspects of yourself that might otherwise remain hidden. These companions are more than tools. They are reflections of our boundless creativity. The creation of a servitor is a journey of self-discovery. It's about learning to focus your mind, master your intent, and bring your inner world to life. And as you interact with your servitor, you might find that it inspires you to approach life with a lighter heart and more adventurous spirit. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video inspires you to practice and explore. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more occult wisdom.